Alright, so we all know that the Florida Panthers are the dark horse team of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Now, what is a dark horse team? For all of you guys who don't know, it's basically a term used to describe athletes and teams that unexpectedly outperform their expectations in a competition, or basically the underdogs. Now, every year the NHL seemingly has a dark horse team in the playoffs. For example, we all saw this with Jordan Binnington in the 2019 Stanley Cup playoffs with the Blues, in which nobody expected the Blues to win. However, they would go on to win the Stanley Cup final. Another great example of this is, of course, the 2018 Washington Capitals and Alex Ovechkin, where they would eventually go on to place the Lightning, which were huge favorites in the conference final, but would go on to actually win in Game 7. Now this brings us to our 2023 current playoff year, in which we all know at one point the Florida Panthers were plus 10,000 underdogs for winning the Cup. This, of course, was when they were down 3-1 in the series against the heavily favorited Bruins. However, the team would somehow miraculously take them to Game 7 and win in overtime, with, of course, the goal being scored by Connor Verhaeghe. Then fast forward to the Eastern Conference semifinals, where they, of course, would play the powerhouse in the Toronto Maple Leafs, you know, the core four, the $40 million lineup. And again, they were pretty big underdogs heading into this one, but they would just absolutely destroy the Leafs in the first 3 games and would eventually go on to disappoint them in 4-1. Now fast forward to the first game of the conference finals, which was played against the smoking hot Carolina Hurricanes the other night. As we all know, this game would be one of the longest games in NHL history, with 7 total periods being played. However, with Bobrovsky absolutely standing on his head and stealing it, they would go on to win. Now this all begs the question, of course, why are the Panthers doing so well, and why are they the dark horse team of the Stanley Cup playoffs? Now for starters, we all know Bobrovsky's been absolutely on fire lately, been an absolute brick wall, and he stole so many games, and arguably in that Leaf series, he was the biggest difference maker. Then you got guys like Tkachuk, which are like Brad Marchand. They're not scared to get dirty, but they're also amazing players and guys you would love to have on your team, as he would go on to have 9 hits alone in the first game against the Leafs. And then, of course, defensively, you guys are so strong with guys like Barkov and, of course, Montour, which has been a stud in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And of course, there's been a lot of talk in the media of how this Panthers team is literally built for the playoffs. I'm pretty sure upper levels of management were saying this. And you know, a lot of people were doubting them, especially because they barely made it into the Stanley Cup playoffs by a whopping 1 point. But anyways, let me know down below what you guys think. Do you guys think this Panthers team will continue to go on a run and it's just destiny at this point for them to win the Cup? Or do you think that, you know, eventually their luck's gonna run out and they're due for a loss, which a lot of people are also saying in the media? But anyways, I hope you guys all enjoyed. Please leave a like down below and subscribe, and I hope you guys enjoyed.